Aha! Ha ha ha! It appears that I am live. What's up, everyone? How do you do today? This is a stream about the new vampire game, Out for Blood, in which I'm going to share my thoughts about what I've already managed to play through a little bit of it, and just hang out and chat, because I don't get to do many of these, and I thought, what better than the release day to play some of this game? Welcome, everyone. Are there people in chat, or am I just talking to myself? I can talk to myself, that's fine. I've been a YouTuber for a while now. But I've got coffee. And that's all I need to power today's video. Clink. Okay. Well, I guess I should start by describing... Hello, Top Jimmy. How are you today? I guess I should start by describing exactly how I feel about this video game known as Out for Blood. So, it's the sound of the SI. Whoop, whoop. Guns don't kill people, vampires do. Okay. What's up, Cormac? We're going to be playing Out for Blood today, which is a text adventure. It looks a lot like... can I swap this? It looks a lot like this! And just so you know the context for my thoughts, I'm about 6.2 hours in, according to Steam, which I disagree with, because a couple of hours of those is probably just me getting distracted or leaving my laptop on. So I'm probably 4 hours in. But it is a game about being a vampire hunter, not a vampire. Although the game does promise some things in the future, the later part of the story, I assume, where you might be able to become a vampire, which is interesting. It's an interesting option for you, especially as you're a vampire hunter, right? So, hello Will Carter. John, how are you? Use bigger guns? Well, it's an escalation. If you have bigger guns, you're going to get bigger vampires, and that's where the Samitsi come in, and no one wants that. Yeah, this game is out today, the 29th of whatever the hell month it is, in July. I was going to say August. And I am enjoying it so far. Like I say, I'm about 4 hours worth of reading in. Bear in mind, I'm a slow reader. And I am enjoying it. It is, so far, a very slow burn. The premise is that your grandfather, who you spent summers with in this small town called Jericho Heights in America, your grandfather died. And you have to go to this town that you remember with some friends there that you've not kept in contact with, and various businesses and lots of characters in the town that are all really interesting so far. You go to this town, and let's go back to this because there's no point in having the text on screen right now. You go back to this town to sort out his affairs because he's left his shop to you, and this is where you do your decisions as character creation. You can decide whether you're a scientist, what jobs you went into. Scientist is what I chose, but there's all sorts of things. You could have gone into the military, and they all change your stats and how you start at the beginning of the game. And you can also choose what kind of shop your grandfather had, which I think is really cool. And from here you decide whether you want to invest time and choosing your options as you're going through the game, improving the shop, or do you want to find out more about the town of Jericho Heights, which is really weird. It's a weird, creepy town, and it's drop-fed to you. Like, you just kind of casually get mentioned, like you wake up on the first night in town and you're like, that's a weird dream I had about someone coming into my house that I can't probably remember. Is it better than Night Road? I can't say fully, because I've finished Night Road a couple of times now. I've played Out for Blood up until I'm at chapter 5 now, and that's where we'll be beginning today. Like I say, it's so far a slow burn. It's a very different writing style to Night Road. Night Road is or I guess it's a slightly different text adventure game style to Night Road. So far, this game has not used the stats a lot. You get lots of cool decisions, a story gameplay. Yeah. We're going to, in a bit, once I've talked about the game, we're going to play through part of the game from Chapter 5. And, like, there's not going to be much spoilers here, because the first 4 chapters are set up. In my opinion, they're setting up what is to come. I haven't found... well, I might have found a vampire, but I don't know for sure, and I've certainly not fought one. There's just this girl that works at my shop who's like, vampires are real! And I'm like, okay, what do I do with that information? Are you okay? Hey, Mai. Hey, Ayo. Welcome in. Clink. Grab yourself some coffee. Let's play a game. Is this out for purchase on Steam? It will be in, like 2 hours? No, it's out now, apparently. It is out now. It's £5. Is that appearing on screen? It is. Okay. That's £5.75. It's got a 20% launch discount. It ends on the 5th of August. But just so everyone knows, the developer Choice of Games was very kind, and they gave me a key so I could play some of it ahead of time and do this video, do this stream. Stake her! Or stake the girl who's worried about vampires. She seems nice. It went live about an hour ago. Sweet. Yeah. Well, speaking of giggity, Plumdog, this is a game with romance options, and straight up at the top it asks you whether you are straight, gay, bi, or asexual, which I think is a wonderful option to have, so that you can be like, I don't want to bonk people, I just want to hunt vampires. Like, these people are cool, I don't want to be friends with them, but no. I don't know whether being asexual denies you relationships, or whether it denies you I guess sexual encounters? I'm not sure how raunchy this game is. Probably not very. It's mostly about hunting vampires and being in a creepy town. Oh, there's a demo as well? Nice. I didn't realize that. I guess there's a vampire. Cool. All right, Matthew. Thanks for hanging out for a bit. Double giggity. Indeed. We bonin'. Yes, I chose my character to be bi, and like the most obvious romance interests are your 2 best friends from when you stayed at this town, Salem and Adam, and they are both represented by very attractive actual images drawn. Some of the characters are drawn, and they're drawn beautifully. It is very cool to see that, like, little extra just to give you a picture. Like, they're all described in words, but you can also see those characters not just in your mind's eye. They're drawn out, and it's really good. The demo was on the right sidebar. Download demo. There it is. If you want to download the demo, test this game out, give it a spin before you buy. I mean, it's only £6. That's really cheap. And given that this game so far is pretty cool, like, so I'll explain to you what I've done so far. I've come to the town. I've discovered that there's a secret compartment in my granddad's shop full of automatic weapons and a chemistry lab. Like, the game is clearly hinting to you that it's like constantly saying he had more secrets than he was letting on, and he had various relationships with people, but now he's dead. He's passed this on to you, and he taught you things like how to survive in the woods as a teenager when you visited him. It's really cool. And it's interesting because part of your relationship with the characters in this game, one of them's dead. Like, you have to decide how you felt about your granddad. It's cheap, and to imagine how much time has gone into writing it, right? It's one of those things, because £6 is not a lot of money for a game that you could probably play through multiple times. That's the style of game this is, like different choices. Let me show you the different kind of choices you get. So you can get choices based on your strengths or your attributes. You can choose to have lots of backgrounds. I, for instance, have been making lots of friends in town. Purely by accident. I've got some experience points to spend at the end of the chapter. My character is very kind-hearted. And also made quite a bit of money so far. Very inquisitive. I keep on flip-flopping between sarcastic and matter-of-fact. I quite like the... Can I get rid of this Steam tab, please? Can I remove that? I don't want that. Go away. Thank you. Content currently installing. So yeah, hey Ivar, is it coming for console? I have no idea. I'm very sorry, I don't know. I imagine not. Night Road wasn't, as far as I'm aware. But if you have played Night Road, or if you haven't, Night Road was an incredible game. It's by a different writer, as far as I'm aware. But Night Road is another game in this style where you get stats and you become a vampire and you level up and you go through different paths. And in this one, your path is about righteousness. You will gain information and knowledge about faith and righteousness, or knowledge, or immortality, which I think is the option where you go and get yourself turned into a vampire. I don't know what knowledge is. I am aware that the World of Darkness idea of true faith exists in this. So if you are a pious character, which I don't think I am. My character is a scientist who has just taken over an occult store, so probably not. Probably righteousness, not the road for me. But I'm currently enjoying living out one of my favorite tropes, which is a scientist character has to come to terms with the existence of the supernatural, which is why I chose my granddad's shop to be an occult store. You put 600 hours into Night Road? What the hell? I've put... God, how many? How many? Night Road. 32. That's a lot of hours. I played through it twice, plus a couple of extra mini playthroughs that didn't get all the way through. True faith doesn't have to be a religion, it could be a person or an object. True faith is what it is. You have pure and unwavering faith in something. And that is normally represented as religion, but I don't know how it's going to happen in this. This is the America. I don't know exactly where in America Jericho Heights is, or if it's a fictional place, but yeah. Guessing that because it's in America, it's going to be an actual church that you believe in. I don't know. When's the next Stitcher SOT? SOT? Stitch of Fate, do you mean? Stitch of Fate, I'm releasing Sean's one-shot tomorrow. His character history one-shot. Another thing I'm enjoying about this game so far, before we get in and play through a little bit of it, is that, like I say, I've played a few hours by now, and they're still keeping me guessing as to what kind of vampires that we're going to be fighting. One of the characters smells like garlic, and she's the one who's like, vampires exist. There's mentions of creeping shadows. There's mentions of people sneaking into my house and like rooting through my stuff and talking to me and things I don't remember. But there's also mentions of, like, if you hear shadows, you instantly think, oh, if you're familiar with World of Darkness, that's probably La Sombra, right? But then there's a character who's Adam, your best friend, who shares a story that's like, I don't know what happened. There was this really weird thing one time where someone came into my house and I was terrified, but I couldn't even see them until I looked upstairs and I saw a reflection in a mirror. So like, ooh, maybe it's not La Sombra. Ooh. So they're keeping me guessing still, which is perfect. You're a vampire hunter. You have no knowledge of vampires or how they work. Yet. We're getting to that bit. Can you make a religious nut? Probably. Yeah, I would guess so. I've not tried. So let me show you my stats. Accidentally, I min-maxed my character and I now have 5 dots in science and tech. I am rubbish at talking to people and physical activity, but I am pretty chill and pretty smart. So that's handy. Unfortunately, every now and again, the game's like... It's really weird, actually. I can't remember what the circumstance was. I think it's like, you wake up, -1 willpower. And I don't know why. It didn't fully explain why I lost a willpower, but I'm not too worried. I got plenty. Is it just me, or does the English accent give extra weight to everything he says? Like reading a recipe would sound like scientific research. I'm afraid I have no control over my English accent, but I can dictate a phone book to you if you would like. Is this on Steam or console? I believe it's just Steam. It is probably difficult to put onto console. Control scheme wouldn't be too hard. But as far as I'm aware, the budget for this is not particularly high, which is why it's quite cheap. Or this kind of game, I should say, does not tend to have a very large budget, and therefore porting to consoles is low on their priorities list. Part of your real life stats, rubbish at talking, bad at physical activity. I made a real person, right? And so far the character creation stuff has been really interesting, and like I've learnt lots about the town, and I've learnt little tidbits about, like, every now and again the game drops a thing like everyone has an agenda, or there's something weird going on underneath the surface of this pleasant American town, and it's kind of got a Stranger Things vibe, and I love it. So let's play a bit of the game. I've talked about how I feel about it so far. Let's play some of the game. To give you some context, this is chapter 5, and I have just witnessed a random townsperson driving erratically down the high street. They crashed into a thing. They stepped on an old lady's dog and killed it and beat people up. So the police officer had to shoot them because the game gave me an option to intervene, but I'm like, no, I'm made of noodles. I'm not going in there and testing out my strength stat. So instead, I snuck into his car, looked around, and found a vial of something that looked like it was coated in blood. So So I've got that as evidence, and I'm currently being investigated by the state trooper who's like rounding up the scene and I'm not completely being honest with the state trooper. What the fuck, right? The console player's only got Coteries and Shadows of New York. Well, fortunately, I have the Coteries of New York soundtrack in the background. Because this is a text-only game. There's no music, there's hardly any images. You just got to imagine that stuff in your mind's eye.
The power of imagination.
That was much more intimidating than I wanted it to be. I wanted it to sound more like this. Imagination! There you go. You never mess with someone's god. Oh, dog. Same thing. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna play through some of this now that I have waxed lyrical about how I feel about it. So, wet my whistle with some coffee first. One sec. You share the major events of Duke's rampage and nothing more. In fact, no more than you'd imagine a casual bystander would tell the police. By weaving in some pertinent facts that can help the investigation, you hope Trooper Stewart believes your acts. This is all very useful, he says, writing your statement. I'm not doing an American accent, by the way, because it'll just be some, like, rude southern stereotype. A lot of what you're saying supports what I've been told by other eyewitnesses. That's what it's going to sound like, so I'm not doing voices. These extra details fill in a lot of missing pieces for me. The rarity of this event has pulled in interest from across the state. A few freelance journalists from the city roll onto the scene, and police officers and members of the sheriff's office block off the road and wave away the reporters, all racing to get the story for the 6 o'clock news or the next edition. Their cameras film Duke Bowie draped in a sheet, being loaded into the back of a van marked Coroner's Office. You turn back to Trooper Stewart. What happens next? He tucks his notebook under one arm and rests his other hand on his belt. I have your statement, that's all I need from you for the moment. If you think of anything else you want to add, you'll have my card to reach me directly. Otherwise, you can call the sheriff's office. Is there anything else you'd like to state now? Actually, I had 2 more things to add. I found a vial in the floor of Duke's car. Saw a strange man videotaping it. These are true, by the way. I'm not lying. These are options. Good luck on your investigation. I hope we meet again under better circumstances. Nothing to add. Can I go now? This character does not trust the police because they're a normal, intelligent human being. I'm gonna give them the hint. I'm starting to wonder if there's unexplained things going on in this town. Unexplained things? The way Duke tossed people around, shrugged off injuries, and acted completely out of his mind all points to something beyond the scope of the norm. Something extraordinary or even supernatural. The trooper scribbles something in his notepad. Your suspicions are noted. Personally, I think you're understandably tired and upset by the situation. Most likely, this was just a bad batch of meth. I know how I sound, but ever since I got back to Jericho Heights, I've seen things I can't explain. Just look into it. You're going to check out Duke thoroughly, so why not examine this angle? At least as a favor to me. Sure. I'll try to look into it, he says blankly. That's fair enough. More state police cars show up as some vehicles marked DeKalb County. Is that a real place? Sirens blare and the flashing lights remind you of real crime scenes. Chicago crime scenes. Did you bring the city with you? One more thing. Please don't talk about what happened here today, even to friends and family, and especially not the news. This is an active investigation. Thanks for your time. Stay safe. With a respectful nod, Trooper Stewart leaves you. You get a lot of experience in this game, but it's really expensive to raise these. I think they're using the 5th edition experience scale, because it's like 10 XP to get to level 2 dexterity, 25 XP to get to composure 5, and these are the skills are cheaper because there's more of them. Backgrounds are real cheap though. I bought resources at the beginning. Not that I've used any, but I'm probably going to spend some to improve my store. That's my thought. I think that I really want to explore the building an occult store angle in this game, because I think from what the game described or the store page described, I think you get to choose between improving your store or spending that time going out and exploring the town and the mysteries instead. So I'll miss out on some mysteries maybe, but I'll also get to hang out with the characters that I've hired to work in my store, which I think is very cool. Excuse me. Excuse me, soundtrack to a creepy vampire game. Could you be less creepy? Lacey Pendleton lives in a quiet cul-de-sac, hidden from cameras of Google Street View, so it takes a while for you to find the entrance. You pass an all-too-fancy restaurant, Cafe Radicchio, where the wind blows white tablecloths out on the outdoor seating, and the special of the day is tempura shrimp over hearts of palm. What the hell's a heart of palm? As in palm tree? You can eat palm tree? I know you can eat artichoke hearts, but like, I don't know. That's weird. That's new. A cobblestone walkway splits through a garden and leads to the front door of a 2-story brick and stone house. Stepping onto the porch, you hear long creaks from the weathered wood. You ring the doorbell and wait for less than a minute before Lacey answers. Or at least a version of her answers the door. Her skin is pale and her cheeks drawn. When she swings the door open, it's a chore from an otherwise spirited woman. Morgan, what are you doing here? I found your iPhone last night after the dinner party and I thought I'd bring it over. I hope you don't mind me showing up at your house. Parmesan? As it... Oh, maybe it's a typo. Do you think it's Parmesan? Maybe. That's weird though. Parmesan. Surely if it was supposed to be Parm, it would be P-A-R-M. Maybe. Maybe they were using text-to-speech when they wrote this. Yeah, I found your iPhone. Oh my god, thanks for bringing it. Come on in. She steps to the side and swings the door even wider. She's dressed in a long blue robe with blocks of different animal prints. You hand her the iPhone and she gives you a brief smile. What's your phone number? I want to put it in my phone right now in case we ever have to get in touch. I'm sure I'll be losing my phone again, she says. You shoot her a text and she replies. She takes a drink of orange juice from a tall glass on an end table and sits on a love seat. Sorry you caught me in my robe. I woke up feeling exhausted and lightheaded. Oh my. I've been drinking orange juice all day. I hate orange juice. If it weren't for the fact that my daughter loves it, I wouldn't even have it in the house. Have a seat. She points to a floral patterned couch. You probably just need rest. You worked all day and went to the dinner party. That can be a lot. Lacey scoffs. I'm a single mother who's planning to run for office. I'm always on the go, and it's working. I'm always on the go and working. It's strange that I feel this way, even if every few months. It's like I have a recurring flu. I really can't afford the downtime. Someone's gonna get eaten by a vampire. Do you like my new song? It's called This Town's Creepy and Full of Vampires. Run! Have you gone to a doctor? I've heard Dr. Lobo has a clinic. Hung out with any vampires lately? I say in a joking manner. Is there anything I can help you with, like running errands or going to the store? How nice do I want to be? Also, how prying do I want to be? I want to... Are those the only symptoms? Let's go with that. Inquisitive +2. Ooh. Isn't fatigue and dizziness enough? I've no fever, no chills, no nausea. It's really strange because I slept so well last night. I fell asleep. I even remember feeling almost too good, like... She trails off, blushing and looking away. Oh my. Heart of palm is a vegetable harvest from the inner core and growing bottom of certain palm trees, notably the coconut. Ah, cheers, WikiMai. Interesting. I mean, I've heard of palm oil, so that makes sense that you can eat a palm tree. This better be a really important story beat now. This palm tree thing. We've invested a lot in this. Thanks, chat. After a moment, she recovers and continues. I swear I haven't taken drugs in a long time. Sure, I had a few glasses of wine last night, but alcohol doesn't make me this tired. Sleepy, yes. Silly, sure, but I didn't feel like the Walking Dead from a few glasses of Chardonnay. Michaela's words come to mind. Vampires live here. Lacey's symptoms sound too much like blood loss to ignore. You can't help but wonder if Michaela is onto something. But how can you find out the truth? Sneak around Bleakcrest House at night with your neck exposed? Oh, hey, Silver Snake. Some words are blanked by either YouTube or me, so, hi. Where did I get to? Morgan, you okay? Lacey asked with a look of concern. You zoned out for a minute. Sorry, I was lost in thought. What did you ask? I just got an alert on my Citizen app. Some commotion over on Chestnut Street. Did you see what happened? Tell her about Duke's rampage. Tell her about, as a way to build trust in me. Provide enough details to build trust. Yeah, I'll tell her. Oh, which is something I can use to my advantage. No, I want this to be a nice character. Like, I can be conniving if I want, but just tell her. Matter of fact, +6, truthful +4. It all happened right in front of me. Someone named Duke Bowie went on a rampage attacking people. The police came and blah 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 blah. Lacey shifts her body forward to sit on the edge of a love seat. Duke Bowie? I went to high school with Duke. He was attacking people? You give Lacey a complete account of everything that happened on Longview Road, including how Deputy Mayor shot and killed Duke. So, April shot him. None of this makes any sense. He didn't deserve to die. Fucking cops killing people? She stands and you follow her across the living room to the kitchen. Him driving his car onto the sidewalk, attacking people in the street, fighting the police and deputy, it just doesn't sound like the Duke Bowie I know. He would never hurt anyone. At least not anyone at random. I've never even, can't even remember the last time I heard Duke getting into a fight. No one would mess with him and he knew it. Doesn't make sense. She pours herself more orange juice from a container and takes a sip from her glass. I can't process what you've told me. Not that I don't believe it, but it's unbelievable. Duke wasn't known for taking meth or PCP or whatever drug he could cause him to throw people around and beat up cops. Do people even take PCP anymore? You shrug. She thinks another moment before continuing. This sounds like someone set Duke up. I'm not someone who buys into conspiracy theories, but this is a setup if I ever saw one. You've really got me thinking, Morgan. Oh, +8 relationship, we might bone. Sorry, fight vampires together. I get those confused. You and Lacey are quiet with your thoughts for several minutes. Lacey's eyes draw inward and she stares at you with a pensive look. How did you get that nasty scar on your head? It looks old. Vampires are hell. Yeah, this is quite the trip. Pardon me. Clearly need more coffee. Without thinking, you touch the 1-inch long scar in the middle of your forehead. It's in the shape of a lightning bolt. Someone told me that I was a wizard, and then an owl attacked me. When I was a kid, I was walking home from school, and I happened to go to a different way than normal. I happened to be right through a construction site, and I wasn't paying attention. A brick fell and hit me on the head. It was the only night I've ever spent in hospital. I had a concussion, but nothing too serious. Now I have this scar to show for it. She nods like she approves of your answer. Scars build character. Well, not scars so much, but how we deal with pain. The scar reminds you of what you had to endure. Okay, thanks, Lacey, I guess. I never really thought of it like that. I'm not glad it happened, but I got through it and like to think it made me a stronger person. Cool. Hooray for pain, I guess. You haven't thought much about that day in years, even though you stare at the scar every time you face a mirror. Lacey holds up her iPhone. I need to plug this in upstairs, and I think I'm going to lie down. Thanks so much for bringing it to me. I owe you one. Agreed? You don't owe me anything. When you're feeling better, you can take me out to dinner. Ew! When you claim your seat of power in the city, I'll remind you who you that you owe me. Oh crap! I'm not that kind of character. Don't worry about it before I go. What can you tell me about Michaela Clark? Ooh, that would be useful. Michaela's a weird kid. Lacy forehead, head and nose wrinkle up like a prune. Michaela Clark? That's a question out of left field. She's a smart girl, very adult, very strong-willed. Reminds me a bit of my daughter, though my gender is not as eccentric. The Bahari motto. What's up, Sumi? It's fine. Pain leads you to Lilith, and Lilith leads you to probably getting killed by all the other vampires. Hello, Memphis. Welcome in. How are you today? Young Miss Clark doesn't have many friends and tends to be a loner. Even at recess, when kids are grouped off playing games in the yard or sitting in little packs, she's off on her own sitting under a tree or in the library. She reads more than any child or adult I've ever known. Though the guidance counselor and myself have tried to encourage her to socialize with people her own age, she just won't do it. She's really clever though. She's even joined the soccer team just to shut us up. She barely talks with the other players, but it's hard for us to complain when, at least on paper, she's hitting all her marks. Why do you ask? You've been thinking about the bomb Michaela dropped, that there are vampires in Jericho Heights. Questions keep circling in your mind. She wants a job at my school, she likes hanging at my store, sharing gossip about people in town. I'm gonna go with the third one. She came into my store today and told me some wild tale about vampires living in Jericho Heights. I want to see Lacey's reaction when I mention vampires. You doing good? I am glad. Lacey shakes her head with a sigh. Vampires in Jericho Heights? I only know about those bloodsuckers in the town council. Seriously though, she has quite the imagination. I'm hoping you told her there's no such thing. I didn't say it directly, but I tried to find out why she thought there were vampires in town. Michaela is a great kid who's very grown up at times, but she's still just a kid. I encourage her creativity, but when her lines between reality and fantasy start to blur, that's when I get worried. Is she the kind of kid to make things up just to get reaction out of people, or make herself sound more interesting? Lacey starts up the stairs towards the second floor and turns to face you. She doesn't do that. She certainly doesn't make things up to make friends or anything like that. For a kid, she's real straight shooter, so I'm a little surprised that she's making up fantasies about monsters in our town. She's not in summer school, so normally I wouldn't see her until the school year begins, but if I happen to see her mother, I'll talk to her. Thanks. Let me know how it goes. Lacey nods. Thanks for bringing back my phone. I need to get some rest. Do me one more favor and lock the door behind you. Have a good day, Morgan. She turns and continues up the stairs, so you leave her home. The door locks behind you. Shit, I think we got Michaela in trouble. If she tells her mum, yeah, she might not get to come to our store. Oops, never mind. While you're out, you receive a text from Lamb. Lamb's one of the characters who works in my store. Hello, sir. This is Lamb. Dr. Lobo called and asked to speak with you. I did not divulge your whereabouts. Ooh. Good. Thank you. She said you have an appointment at a clinic tomorrow, and you may show up at your convenience. Not too many customers are shopping at this hour, so I am leaving. I will be at work tomorrow at 7 a.m. Thank you for this opportunity. Nighttime creeps in as you make your way home from Lacey's house. Clouds cover the sky in grey, with only wisps of white breaking through. A light breeze blows through and cools off the town. Most businesses have closed and traffic has died down, so walking through the streets takes only an eerie quality as the silence of the town suddenly seems very loud. Those few people still outside and not putting their kids to bed or sitting around the living room television all wave and greet you as you pass. Your jaw hurts from all the smiles, but it's lifted your mood and you find yourself taking the long way home just to pass some more people and see more of your neighbours and pet their dogs and high-five their kids. I didn't know our character was this cool, but town favourite, sweet. I guess we do have like 4 points in influence. Everyone loves us. You're used to the hustle and bustle of Chicago where car horns, not harcorns. Car horns, random shouts, and passing planes are so common you stopped noticing them years ago. With all of the people who live in the Windy City, it's still easy to feel alone. People keep to themselves. You didn't sit out front on the porch and share a coffee with the neighbours. When you walked around the city, strangers didn't smile but rather stared at their phones. The L brought you everywhere, but you never talked to other passengers or even looked at them if you could help it. Sounds like London. Not far from your home, you find yourself moving along a small strip of land between a closed-down mini-mart and a community centre. The buildings block out most of the light coming from the sky, and you enter a thick darkness. The air turns still, but an odour sweeps through the air. Something like rotten meat. As you move deeper, the smell grows stronger until you're covering your mouth and nose in the crook of your arm. You hear something panting, and your mind fills an image of an injured wolf. Spot a pair of white tennis shoes sticking out on the other side of the dumpster. Whoever's wearing them is laying on the ground. You take a few steps closer, and the fast breathing slows. The feet pull back, and half a face peeks out from behind the edge of the dumpster. It's hard to make out the features in the darkness, but it appears to be a young man with long black hair and skin a sickly shade of pale green. Drunk or vagrant. I'm using my wits awareness. I think my character's got wits awareness. Yeah, I got 5 total in that. I'm gonna use a stat for once. Let's do it. I observe from a safe distance. Oh no! There's art. There's art. That means this character is important. Something feels off with this man, and you'd rather be cautious than make a sudden move and risk him getting violent. Standing a car length away, you circle wide to see more of him. When he leans out, you can see his face. His skin is a patchwork of deep tan and acidic green, wrinkled and sagged like a spoiled peach. His eyes are filmed over to a dull yellow. You can see glimpses of worms and maggots writhing in his open wounds. You're no doctor, but you studied enough about the human body to know this man is in need of serious medical attention. You've heard about flesh-eating diseases, but you didn't think many were here in America. What is wrong with this man? Oh, we got a butt ton of stuff in Path of Knowledge. We got plus, like, 30. Happy boy? What are you talking about? No? Oh, because he's smiling? I don't think that's a smile. You've read about creatures like this, but you've never seen one in person. Could he be an animated corpse, a zombie, or some other creature created by necromancy? Your mind reels at the possibilities. When you take a few steps, he rises and moves straight towards you. Stay back, I don't want any trouble, you say, and step backwards until you bump into a wall. He steps forwards, hands raised, and opens his mouth, exposing thin ropes of thick saliva and sharp canine teeth. Black eyes spit long canines. It's all you see, but none of it makes sense. How can this be? What is wrong with him? As he reaches through your throat, we run away, knock his hands away. I'm not doing that. I've got no points in strength. Hang on. Sorry, chat. Here's the stuff. Here's the goods. Run away. I'm trying to help him. Convince him I'm friendly. Screw that. Com plus faith? I have 0 in faith. I do have composure, though. Nosferatu? I have no idea. Maybe. It could be a zombie. It could be like a necromancer creation. That's what the game's saying, anyway. I'm going to stick with what the game's saying, but Nosferatu is a good shout. Fight back, screw that. I have 1 in Dex, but I do have 3 in Athletics. What is most likely to allow me to survive? Com plus faith is 4. Dex plus athletics is 4. Charisma persuasion is like 3 dots. I don't know how the stat system in this works, whether it's randomized in any way or whether it's like, you need 4 dots to complete this thing, and if you choose a 3-dot thing you will fail, sort of thing. I don't know how it works, but you know, let's try running away. You turn and run with the man and the dumpster at your back. Your footsteps echo between 2 buildings, and then you hear let's zoom in to the right place, and then you hear the stomping of other footsteps from behind. Looking over your shoulder, you see the man chasing you, his hands reaching out. In your path lies a cardboard box the size of an air conditioner, blocking the alley, and you leap over it. A swipe at the back of your neck, and the man tumbles over the box. He rolls into the brick wall with a grunt of pain. Feeling pounding, feet pounding, you focus at the end of the alley and keep up your pace as you burst from the edge. Tired, but not winded, you stop at the edge of the street and turn to see if he's still pursuing you. He tears the box in half and tosses it behind him. Though you are at least 50 feet away from him, you make eye contact. He crouches to run again, and something flashes from the other end of the alley. A blur of orange against the red brick, all blended together. The man's body is lifted and thrown behind the dumpster and out of your line of sight. You catch a glimpse of a figure in the bright orange dress. From a distance, you can't make out her features, but she's tall and slender with flowing blonde hair. She gives you a short nod and a smile. And then she's gone. You blink a few more times and peer down the alley. No one's there. Not the woman in the orange dress, not the sickly man who chased you. Next firearms, like you've never doxed firearms before. Shoot them! Hello, Reese. Welcome in. Welcome in, Vorandan. How are you today? Rushing through the front door, you turn and lock it, even the deadbolt. You check each window and lock them too, almost tripping over Helix, our cat. You shoo her away as you secure the house. She follows behind, curious about the activity. When you're finished, you move the chair from the dining room table to a few feet back from the door and stare at the front of your house, waiting. It's darker now, and a street light shines in through the slats in the window blinds, casting a blurry pattern across the floor. You're okay. Everything is fine, and you're safe at home. You're not being chased by a deranged, half-dead person. I guess he's not deranged if he's dead, but I'm no expert. You start to laugh and it echoes through the living room. You talk to yourself for a while. Maybe as a way to calm yourself down, or just to fill the house with some noise and not feel so alone. Helix lies on a small rug by the fireplace, skeptically glancing up at you. Every noise has your eyes darting around the house. It takes a while to calm down, The adrenaline pumping through your body eventually subsides. You don't know how long you're sitting there, but at some point you doze off. Hello Mikkel, welcome in. We are partway through chapter 5 of this. This is our first like full encounter with zombie / vampire, maybe? I don't know. We don't know yet, but we're going to be hunting this stuff. We're going to be fighting the hell out of whatever's trying to kill us today. We're preparing for City of Saints, the V5 stream you're in. Ooh. Well, have a good stream. Feel free to post it in the Discord if you like. Okay. Health -1. Why do we have health -1? You know you're dreaming even though you feel like you're awake. A presence walks up from behind and places a soft but firm hand on each side of your neck. She leans over and comes in line to look at you eye to eye. Her long golden hair, flowing with curls, hangs over her naked shoulder. She has such smooth skin and deep red lips. When she smiles, she's always smiling. You feel both at ease and somehow unworthy. She wears a bright orange dress, and though you've never seen her before, that's not true, we literally just saw her. You can tell she's been watching you. +4 experience though. I'm gonna get firearms or fight combat so I can beat the crap out of stuff. That's the plan. Could be a harbinger, a samiti. Yeah, anything ugly as its bane. That's yeah. You don't have access to the Discord? Okay, I will. For those that want, it's not a particularly active Discord, but we do chat about Vampire in there every now and again. Invite people. I will send the thing. I will send the thing in the chat. There we go. That's the Discord I have. People can join. Feel free. I need to reorganize it because there's like a permission thing for patrons. So this vampire lady, hang on. I'll give you all the cadet role, which is the temporary permission role. There you go. Yeah, I really need to reorganize it, but welcome in to things. At this point, you may use your unspent stuff. Oh, what should I spend it on? Attributes? What am I rubbish at? Stamina, dex, strength, charisma. I need to improve my strength and charisma, I feel. Like, charisma and strength, probably a good shout. But I can't do both. I can only do one. I'm going to put some into strength because I probably didn't. I probably only just missed dying back there. And can we improve our stuff? Contacts, resources. We could raise contacts to 2. Or we could improve our skills. I'm going to improve my resources because I think at some point I need to spend it on the shop. And is there anything else I can afford? Not in here. 3 points. Ooh, I could get a point in... anything I don't have a point in yet. Subterfuge? Wonderful. Welcome in, Sumi. yeah, feel free to chat about anything in the Discord. I'm going to save my XP so I can get higher levels of stuff later. Save my remaining experience. Okay. I am still rubbish, but I have more strength and more money. Also, I've lost 1 health and 2 willpower so far this game, and I'm not entirely sure. I accept these new ranks, and I think the story continues. We are going into a part of the next chapter, maybe? Yes, this is using exactly the same system as Night Road. So just to, I guess this is probably a good point to kind of talk about how I feel about this game so far. Up until this point I've just played, everything supernatural in the game, and that took like 3 hours of play, 3, maybe 4. It was all hinting, like there was a bat in my house, like maybe there was a vampire disguised as a bat. There's like this character you meet as you come into town who just kind of comes out of the woods and you hit them with your car and it's weird and they're like, don't worry about it. And then they just disappear into the woods and they're like, that's weird. And there's like lots of weird stuff and it spends so much time introducing you to the town. And I really appreciate that. But if you're like, I want to go in and I want to fight vampires and hunt them down, that's not where this game starts. It really sets up the mystery of the town and all of the characters that you will meet in the town. It also doesn't use the stats particularly much. Like most of the options that I've been choosing are ones that do not have stat checks with them. But a lot of the options do change your character's personality. So I don't know if there's this affects the options that you have in the future. My guess is that's kind of what these are for. Yeah, this is kind of how your character is rated depending on your choices. So if you're like sarcastic all the time, you'll get lots of that. My character has spent a lot of time going, look, I understand that there might be vampires in your head, but I haven't seen any vampires yet. There's also lots of cool dream sequences where you're like, that's weird. People breaking into my house. That's a strange dream. But the game also promises being able to do true faith stuff, knowledge, which is the path that I'm on, but it's also the path that I understand the least about. Like, my character is a scientist who has taken over his grandfather's occult shop, and knowledge seems useful so far? But it's probably also the path that's going to get me killed by the vampires who are like, this dude knows what vampires are. So we'll see. You could also attempt to get yourself turned into a vampire, which seems very dangerous. Maybe I'll do a playthrough of that in the future, but who knows? But so far, the choices have been interesting. It's given me lots of opportunities to meet and talk with the characters I'm most interested in. It doesn't feel like it's significantly changing the trajectory of the story, although it might just be subtle. Who knows? It certainly has changed my relationships with the different characters, which I like. Does it take you to a while to realize you're a vampire, or will they let you know immediately? I have no idea. I have no clue. And I don't think I will until I do a different playthrough, because I'm not intending to go through this playthrough trying to get turned into a vampire. But I'm sure at some point I will meet that blonde-haired lady in the orange dress, and she'll be like, hey, you want to be a sexy vampire? Maybe. We'll see. So what I'm going to do is read until the end of this chapter, just to kind of give you a longer look at what this game is, and then we'll, you know, chat about it a bit more, I guess, and see if there's any questions or whatever. And general questions, like, I don't know. You awaken with a deep breath, wheezing in air through your mouth as hard as you can pull it. Panting, you sit up in bed and rub your eyes clear. This starts a coughing fit, which lasts a full minute, and when you're done, it leads to one giant yawn, like you've woken up from a year-long nap. We get stuff back. That's good, I guess. Something feels off. The clock on your dresser flashes 10:42. You overslept. Moving to the edge of the bed, you feel your feet hit the floor and a shiver rise up from your legs and take over your whole body. Seeing yourself for the first time today in the mirror, it's someone else, a paler version of you. Your cheeks are sunken and you're sweating and feeling anxious and restless. Wait, did you even go to bed last night? Last thing you knew, you were sitting in a chair in the living room. An image of the woman in the orange dress floats into your mind. Was she real? Were you dreaming? Your memory of her washes away, and now you're thinking of Michaela and her talk of vampires. You check your neck and laugh nervously. There are no bite marks. Maybe you're losing your mind. You've always had a strong sense of purpose where other people experience self-doubt or depression. You soldiered on. With the death of your grandfather and moving to Jericho Heights, however, maybe you're showing signs of stress. Was this all just a terrible dream? Ah! Vampires! No more self-doubt. Vampires, steak, garlic. Ranch dressing. I don't know. Vampire fighting time. I literally just ran from someone in like creepy dead mode. I feel like at this point the character should be like, something strange is here, and I'm about to put my finger on it. Surely that should have been the moment that pushed me over the edge. Whatever. I'm gonna have some coffee. Why are there crickets? What music are we listening to right now? Not that one. Let's listen to more Shadows of New York soundtrack. That's when you remember the cameras. You set up your security system yesterday and put two cameras all around the house. You reach for your laptop and bring up the security feed. With 24 hours of video taken, you have a lot to search through. Knowing the encounter with the corpse-like man and the woman in orange happened after 10, you fast forward the video to 12 hours ago and scan from there. Nothing. Not just a lack of events, but nothing. A portion of the recording is missing. How could that happen? You store all videos to the cloud. Could someone have tampered with your feed? Luckily, you also use a backup to an external hard drive not connected to the internet. There, you find the footage. At 10:20 p.m., the living room camera shows a blonde-haired woman appearing behind you. She opened her mouth and lowered it to your neck. You did not respond with pain, but pleasure. Your head thrown back with a smile on your face. She was drinking your blood, and when she lifted her head, the evidence was smeared across her lips. She licked them clean, and then brought her tongue to your neck. When you passed out, she lifted you in her arms. The video follows her up the stairs, where the bedroom camera picks up her entering the room and laying you in bed. Michaela was right. Vampires live here. Uh-oh! Finally, proof! Your phone buzzes on a side table and you catch it before it falls to the floor. There are 6 text messages, all from Lamb. Hey, this is Salem. That's not from Lamb. Here's my new phone number. Lamb, will you be opening the store or should I do it? Lamb, since I have not heard from you, I am opening the store. 3 potential customers are waiting and I do not want to lose their sales. Lamb, one of the customers just wanted to use the bathroom. I kicked them out. The other 2 customers are browsing. I will make these sales and report on my success. Lamb, I made a considerable sale from the first customer. The second one asked about lifetime warranties and shipping to her home. I offered her a 24-hour money-back guarantee and a bag with her handle that she could carry home. She asked to speak to my supervisor. Lamb, your absence is highly irregular. I called the police, but they asked me to check the house. I told them I would never invade your privacy. They became angry and hung up on me. Very unprofessional. Will you be coming to the shop today? I have come to the conclusion they are either abandoning the store or have lost your phone, or in a situation barring your ability to use your hands to take bags from me. Customers are here at the moment, so I'll be coming into your home and shouting from the bottom of the stairs. I'll be there in 2 minutes. I fucking love Lamb. Oh my god. So straightforward. Maybe you're tied up. Maybe this is a bondage situation. Maybe someone forgot to remove your gag. That's fine. I'll run a store for you. Sad part is it only takes 1 neonate with Dominate to make you forget all about vampires. It's harder than that to remove this, the proof, though. Depends on how organized you are. In the fridge, you find a bottle of orange juice and pour yourself a tall glass. What is this thing with orange juice? And pour yourself a tall glass. Considering this your breakfast, you make your way into the store. What is this sex cult? I'm down. That's fine by me. But what's this thing with orange juice? Lamb stands behind the counter, his body stiff and his jaw clenched. He's muttering to himself in Vietnamese and he angrily wipes the cash register clean. When he sees you, instead of relief, he shakes his head and throws down the rag on the counter. This is not the way to run a business. I work for you and accept my position, but must state my dissatisfaction, he says and folds his arms. And now I will give you a moment to explain. Fucking love Lamb. Knife keeps footage. Exactly. I woke up extremely ill and just got out of bed. I'm sorry for not opening the store. This was a test. I don't answer to you, Lamb. I have a lot going on. This store is supposed to be closed today. It's a national holiday. Have you ever heard of Annoy Your Employees Day? I'm not going to be a dickhead to Lamb. I love Lamb. He leans forward and stares at you like he's inspecting a bug. Yes, you do look terrible. That's how I feel. Lamb frowns and wrinkles his nose as if he's smelling a foul odor. You shouldn't be working today. You could get customers sick and contaminate the products. Go to bed and let me take over. You check the store receipts, $157. That doesn't include the sizable purchase from Gabrielle J. Field. The front door of the store jingles as Mayor Bumpley enters. He's wearing jeans and a Visit Jericho Heights t-shirt with clean work boots and a North Face backpack. A much different look than his normal business attire. Thin beige gloves cover his hands. Dude's always wearing gloves and it's sus as fuck. Just saying. Just noting my suspicions here, okay? Oh, but however, this music is a little bit dramatic for him. We'll see. Good morning, he says to you, ignoring Lamb. As he walks to the counter, his expression changes to one of concern. You feeling well? You look under the weather. Is it because of the whole ordeal with Duke Bowie? You shake your head. I had a rough night and woke up sick. Thanks for your concern. The mayor glances around the store, notices Lamb, and gives him a curt smile and nod. So, Morgan, can we talk privately for a moment? I don't have a lot of time, but I really would like to discuss some business with you. Lamb sniffs deeply and wrinkles his lips. I will count inventory on the back shelves, he says, and walks off, glaring back at Mayor Bumpley. We can go to my office, you say, and point to the door that leads in back. No need, this will be quick, and then I'm on my way to help with the search for Tyler Sanders. You remember the teen that went missing? Yes, I didn't realize there was a search party. The mayor nods. Through his expression, though his expression displays concern, you're reading a bit of sincerity. Like his presence as a search party is more ceremonial than altruistic. A member of the sheriff's department is leading a group of volunteers through Long Valley Park. If you wish to join us, we can use all the help we can get. We have another team going on at 7 o'clock if you wish to join. Of course, I'm going now and we'll be there all day. He steps closer to the counter and lays his hands on it. Now, let's turn to business. I'm not sure you're aware, but your grandfather left the store with considerable debt. Most of that debt comes from a sizable loan from the First Bank of Jericho Heights. Did he make you aware of any of this? I don't want to make him think that I'm clueless about my grandfather's debt. Conniving plus 11. Mayor Bumpley clicks his teeth. I'm glad he told you, and it may make what I have to say much easier. You see, your grandfather borrowed money over quite a long period of time and eventually consolidated all of his debt with one loan from the bank, placing the store itself and the attached home as collateral. If he failed to make payments and defaulted on the loan, he would forfeit the entire property with the First Bank of Jericho. The news hits you like a punch to the gut. How much money did he owe? He borrowed 80% of the value of the assets. Unfortunately, that was not enough, and a few years ago he added more terms to the loan and a co-signer. You see, the debt he owed is now your debt. My debt? He swings the backpack off the shoulder, unzips it, and takes out a packet of legal-looking documents. About 5 years ago, he had you co-sign for his loan. Here is your signature on this form and this one and this power of attorney form as well. In the event of his death, all his assets and debts pass to you. The gut punch feeling turns to nausea. Fuck you, Granddad! This is bullshit. I never signed anything. There is a simple solution to this. Take the store and the house, or take care of the debt. Yeah, manipulation plus intimidation. Not something I'm good at. Fuck. I'm gonna go with angry. This is bullshit. I never signed anything and I owe you nothing. Get the fuck out of my store. Doran Domineering plus. -4 relationship with Mayor Bumpley, though. Mayor Bumpley takes a step backward, visibly shaken. How dare you speak to me that way? I'm not in the wrong here. Your anger is misplaced. If it were not out of respect to you and your grandfather, I would have had my attorney foreclose on this property and toss you out on the curb. I thought my coming here could resolve this with civility. Get out of my store before I throw you out. You condescending piece of shit. The mayor's face reddens. He lifts his backpack and marches to the door. When he reaches it, he turns back to you. We will do this the hard way. Oops! Whoopsie! Okay. So that was what I'm gonna say was my first look at Out for Blood. What you're thinking? That's chapter 5. I might do another stream? Maybe. Depends on how much time. I literally just released a video game called Clone Drone in the Danger Zone, and there's lots of work to do on that. So I don't know what I've got time-wise, but I love doing the streams here. Is that something you'd all be interested in? Yes? No? Maybe? Who knows? And I only know if you tell me. So let me know in the comments. But I think I can say that even though I've not gotten to like the meat of the game, which is like the vampire hunty bit, which is what I'm most excited to play, it's a very good story so far. It really sets up a lot of stuff that I'm interested in following up on, and overall Out for Blood is pretty good so far. It's as like the quality of writing so far is as good as Night Road, which is another vampire game that you should definitely, I wholeheartedly recommend. It's like really cheap. It's ridiculously cheap for the breadth of story. But fortunately, they're all entirely text-based with lots of story options for you to choose from and paths and like different types of character that you can play. And I love that customizability about this. It's so hard to get in any other kind of game. Probably going to get it when you get the chance. Sweet. If you do, let me know. Tell me in the comments how far you get, what kind of character you're playing, all of that stuff, because I'd love to hear it. Because I'm not gonna be able to play this more than once or twice, because there's so many. But maybe I'll make like a full review when the game is properly finished. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, and for videos about vampire, I don't know, role-playing videos, all of that. And I am planning more vampire. Keep your eyes peeled for more role-playing one-shots, vampire stuff. I've got some really exciting announcements coming up. But what I can tell you about right now is that tomorrow, the 30th of July, you can listen to Sean's Season 2 one-shot. It's amazing. We've got an amazing I almost gave the game away there. We've got an amazing super secret guest who, I mean, is coming out tomorrow. There's only like 28 people here. I'll tell you. I got to play with Jesse Cox, which is the like goal achieved. Tick that off the bucket list. Jesse Cox is in Stitch of Fate now as a canon character, which I'm super fucking excited about. So yeah, enjoy that. It's gonna be wild. It's a very funny episode, and I will catch you later. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Hog indeed. Hog indeed.